Hello, it's me again. So, thanks for watching today. Today, I want to talk about my experience that I had yesterday when I meditated. For those of you who don't know, just to catch you up, I asked to have my psychic gifts, my spiritual gifts, turned off because I was going crazy with them, and they did shut off like the moment that I asked them to. And that was about 8 years ago. And lately I am, I've been wanting to have those gifts reopened once again. And so in doing so, I thought it would be a good idea for me to meditate once again, because I had stopped meditating as well. And so it's my 5th or 6th day in a row of meditation, and I'm meditating a little differently than I used to. I'm meditating without my phone nearby. Now, the first 4 times I had been meditating outside in the sunshine. Where I live, it's very dry in the desert, and there's lots of sunshine because we live in the desert mountains. And so I like to go outside. I got very much that that's where I should try to meditate, is outside. Well, yesterday when I was going to meditate outside, it was too windy and too cold, and it wasn't too, oh no, yeah, it was sunny. It was too windy and too cold, but it was sunny. So I decided I was going to meditate inside, but sitting in the sun. And so I sat down on the sofa, and then I was going to look at the clock like I always do, because I always time myself when I meditate. And something told me not to look at the clock. Something told me not to time myself. I thought it might be more organic if I didn't time myself. And I guess that's what I was going for. I wanted I wanted a meditation that didn't have any structure to it. I wanted everything in my meditation to be organic. Now, saying that, I will say that I did set up my intentions out loud to God and to Jesus, and I talk out loud to them. Sometimes I talk to them, in my head, but I talk out loud to them. I don't care if I sound crazy. And I set up my intentions, meaning I told them I want to meditate today. I don't want to ask for anything. I just want to feel connected to you. And I made sure I told them I'm talking now to the God that Jesus Christ talks about as his Father. I'm only talking to the God, the Holy of Holies. I'm only talking to the Creator God, the one original love and light. Okay? And I am not talking to any imposters or any of my guides or any other light beings or anything like that today. So, and I asked Jesus to kind of be like the gatekeeper, I guess. Like, sometimes I call him Jesus, sometimes I call him Yeshua. And I just asked him if he would please be with me while I try to connect to the Father. And so I was sitting there, and usually, when I meditate, I am usually asking for something, or I have some agenda, like I want some healing done on my knee, or sometimes I will want to feel my higher self, or sometimes I'll want to meditate on a symbol or listen to music or a guided meditation or whatever. But this time it was important to me that I not have that it was all organic. But I did set it up, like I said, like this on the front end. So then when I did that, this is all with my eyes closed, I open up my heart and I start talking to God, like I told you, and Yeshua, Jesus. And then when I start doing that, there's a time, and I can feel when it changes. I'll have my eyes closed and I can feel when it's like a key, and then it's like finding the right key, just kind of the right key just slips right in and you can turn it. That's what happens. Like, I know I've connected to Yeshua, Jesus, or God, because certain things will happen that don't happen when I meditate at other times, that don't happen when I'm with angels or guides. This is different. So, and I'll describe what those differences are in a minute. So I have my eyes closed, and so that feeling comes when, and I feel it because I feel it in my heart, and it's like my heart turns on or something. Not my real physical heart. It's not like beating different or anything like that. I mean, like around my heart, like more in an energetic kind of area, like almost outside of my body, it starts to radiate this warm, loving glow energy around the middle part of my body. And that's how I know I've locked in or whatever. So once that happens, then I start communicating to God. And once I connect, some days are more powerful than others. Some days are kind of weaker. Some days are stronger. It's just the way it is. Nothing to be worried about. But I know when I have connected to him, because some part of my consciousness becomes more free-flowing and not as structured. Because I'll start communicating to him, and I call him him. I just do. It might be a her. It might be, I believe God is neither he nor her, but I call him him just because that's what I'm used to. That's the way I was raised, and that's what I'm comfortable with. So when I just start, instead of asking for things, I start thanking him for things. That's how I know that I've shifted into some state of consciousness that I'm not usually in, because I start thanking him for things that I have. And I don't normally do that. Usually I'm always thinking about things that I want and don't have, to be honest. But I started just thanking him for the things that I have, mostly for my children and for my husband, my parents, and for everyone in my life that I've known, basically, who has helped me along this path. And I thank him for those things. And I started thanking him just for the things that pop up in my head. Sometimes it's, my career that I had. Sometimes it's my connection with Lush Cosmetics. Sometimes it's, my health. It just depends. It's whatever is free flowing. Now, when I start doing that, I always wind up with, thank you for your son giving of himself, and you giving of your son, and your son giving of himself, so that I can follow a path of light to you. It always winds up, I start being in gratitude, and I always wind up thanking him for Jesus and thanking Jesus for what he did. And the minute I do that, the minute I thank him, do that specific thing, he comes in, he comes in, meaning I start to be very aware physically of certain things going on that I feel are metaphysical. And now I'm going to list what those things are. So again, I have my eyes closed when I'm meditating, of course, Now, as soon as I start, I'm in the gratitude space, and then eventually I get to this point where I'm start thanking God just for being and for giving his son, etc. And once I start doing that, he comes in, and how I know he comes in is instantaneously my eyes will start watering like crazy, okay? And I'm not being emotional when this is happening. Like, I'm not ecstatic. I'm not crying because I feel unworthy. I'm not crying because, oh my God, I'm not feeling anything. They just start watering like crazy, like more than when I'm actually crying. Like they start watering more than my eyes water when I'm actually crying. I don't know how it works. Okay. I don't know how it works. So that's the first thing. My eyes start watering profusely, and to the point where I have to get a Kleenex and start wiping off my face. Then the next thing that happens, and all these things kind of happen at the same time, but I'm putting them in linear time frame so I can list them all for you. So the eyes thing happened, okay, I start watering. And then at the same time, I start seeing what I would consider to be a strobe light of some kind, a light that is strobing, and I see this. It looks like doesn't look like a direct light strobe. Like it looks like, the way I described it to my husband, it looks like if you are in a shower, like a shower door that isn't clear. It's kind of like a frosted glass. If someone were shining a flashlight behind the shower glass and turning it off and on, that's what it looked like to me with my eyes closed. That's what was going on, okay? And it was so intense that I wanted to open my eyes to see if someone was, if lights were coming through the blinds and doing some kind of light play through the blinds, or if someone was standing over me with a flashlight or something, or the lights were but I didn't open my eyes to check. I accepted it, okay? So water's coming out, I'm thanking God, I start seeing the flashing light really intensely, and I start, now I'm kind of like internally in my mind, I'm kind of like, half of me is like witnessing this flashing light and going, holy crap. And the other half of me is like in this state of, I don't know, like almost like, I'm not going to say a state of ecstasy, because it wasn't quite like ecstasy, but in the state of like, just, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Where I'm just in his presence, in God's presence. And it's so all-consuming and so powerful and so whatever, that you don't even have control of what your body or mind or emotions are doing sometimes in a lighter way. Like you're just, with your eyes closed, you're just staring off into space, like this, like, and you're enveloped in this glow. I mean, when God makes his presence known, or when Yeshua makes their presence known, and when they're both together, there's just no question that something has happened. Like your body, there's no question. Your body recognizes it, I guess. That's kind of how I'm taking it, as like our bodies instantly recognize or instantly react, a certain way whenever God's presence comes in. And we don't really, it's like we don't even have anything to do with it. I think the eyes are like that. So anyway, so I was in his presence during this meditation. And when I was in his presence, like I say, half of me is going, I can't believe that he's actually making himself known to me. Like, to me, like, why, you know what I mean? Like, this feeling of unworthiness starts coming, like I can't believe, why am I so lucky? What, like, wow. So what is going on that you're talking to me? Like, what is it? Just because I thanked you and you just came in? Is that all we have to do? Like, I don't know. I got that. This is what I got. Okay, it's going to sound crazy. I got, during my meditation, that I almost felt like God gets lonely for us to talk to him. And when he does, when we do talk to him and recognize his presence and try to communicate with him, he gets like really excited. Just like we would get excited. I mean, I felt it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hear him talking. It's like I felt his communication. It wasn't like he didn't talk with his mouth, or I didn't see like a person standing in front of me talking, and I didn't hear anyone talking. It's like I heard it in my mind. It was, I guess they call that, what is that, telepathy, I guess, or something like that, a non-verbal communication somehow. And at the same time, I'm having this incredible, I call it like a whirring, pulsing energy right here in my third eye. Like, so the lights are flashing like that. Okay, and I'm like going, wow. And then at the same time, it's turning around, actually it was turning this way. Energy is turning around my third eye right here between my eyebrows. Energy right in front of my third eye is spiraling this way and out, like it's turning and moving in and out. And it's so strong, it's almost like it's pulling my actual head moving back and forth. Like if someone were watching me meditate, I think they would see I was actually almost moving a little bit. And it was so strong. And inside I'm going, and this is actually happening. I was like so excited. But again, I didn't let myself get so excited that I broke the connection. You know what I mean? I just accepted whatever was coming. No fear and no great, huge surprise to where I would break my concentration. So I kept feeling this, and I felt like, again, this is going to sound crazy, I felt like God was, I don't know, like directing some sort of loving energy towards right here or something, but I'm not really sure if that's what it was. I'm not sure what it was. I just know what I was feeling. I'm just not sure what it was. And then this pulsing lasted, I would say, maybe like, I don't know, 2 to 5 minutes. And then I just, everything sort of settled, meaning the worrying stopped and everything. I was still in his presence, and I felt like there was actually like somebody, like a physical presence there, even though I didn't open my eyes. And I just wanted to be with that presence to the exclusion of everything else. And all of a sudden, I felt this familiar feeling, this familiarity came washing over me. And I realized then, I'm starting to get to the chills, I realized then that that feeling that I was feeling was the same feeling that when I was little and I sort of drowned, I guess, I had what I would consider to be a near-death experience, and I've explained that on one of my videos here. And that feeling that I felt while I was having this experience, I felt like I believe I was with God in his presence, and I didn't want to leave. I remember when he told me, you have to go back, I was heartbroken, because that was the last thing I wanted to do, was move away from his presence, okay? And while I was meditating this yesterday, that's the feeling that I had. I could have stayed there with him forever and not cared about anything else or anyone else. And I don't know how to reconcile that, because I was thinking about my kids and my husband. But I'm not gonna lie. The feeling of being in his presence was stronger than even my feelings of love that I have for my children. I mean, I can't even explain how all-encompassing this energy is, a feeling of love. And I just stayed there, and silently, like hugging my dad or something. That's what it felt like hugging my dad. And I told him telepathically, I don't want to leave from here. I just want to stay here forever and ever with you. I know I probably can't. I think I said that to him. But just know, I don't want to leave here. So this went on. My meditation lasted for about 22, 23 minutes. And I know that they start to pull away or pull back. I know when my meditation is over, because their energy starts to sort of pull back a little bit. My body starts to sort of like go back to, I start to feel more like myself. And I know, and that blinking, strong, loving energy starts to sort of like dissipate a little. It's not like it goes away completely, like boom. It just starts dissipating a little until eventually, like it takes like 2 to 5 minutes, and eventually you can just sort of tell that they're not there anymore. And then I open up my eyes, and I was just like, wow. I mean, it was wow. Now I noticed, I didn't say, when I opened my eyes after meditating, as soon as I opened my eyes for the first time, I saw these little, I didn't even know what they are. They look like little squiggles in the air that were made out of golden white light. Okay, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but they were like little squiggles. They were maybe like about half an inch, quarter of an inch long, and they were made out of look like little light filaments. They were like gold white light, and there was a few of them in the air, these little gold squiggle lights that were in the air, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 20 of them kind of spread here and there. And I opened my eyes and I went, whoa, and I would see those gold lights, and I looked at them and I went, whoa, where are these lights coming from? And then they kind of like faded away until they weren't there anymore. And I felt like I just couldn't explain how good I felt. You can imagine, right, how good I felt. And I felt like once I, sort of started to ground myself and come back down, as it were, I started to feel like I had much more confidence after this situation than I did before this situation. Because I got somehow from this, I got from him, this is my takeaway from it, that all those things that I was worried about, because like I say in my other videos, I always beat myself up. I'm not good enough. I don't do this good enough. I'm trying to walk a spiritual path, and I beat myself up because I want to be perfect. And when I'm not perfect, I get upset. And I feel like God gets upset too. And what I got from this meditation was that he doesn't get upset. He doesn't. He doesn't get upset literally with anything that I do. And I've been in some nasty ass places in my life. Let me tell you, I've had some nasty attitudes. I've been just a horrible person. You know, I've been on drugs. I've been, you know, an alcoholic. I've just been nasty. I've been greedy. I've been judgmental, jealous. You name it. I have been there and have lived that fully. You know? And so I'm not a saint by any stretch of anyone's imagination, okay? Like, I am the opposite, okay? So that's why I'm like, why me? And I mean, I don't know. The only thing I could think of is, I mean, when I was younger, when I was a little girl, I used to have spiritual experiences all the time. It was no thing. It was no drastic, rare, fantastical occurrence. It happened on a regular basis in my dreams and in my astral travels and whatnot, that I was in the higher realms and felt the love. And I think, I'm not positive, I think that's why, maybe why he came to talk to me, or why I think he comes to talk to me, is because maybe I used to talk to him when I was little, and maybe like he was like, whoa, she's talking to me again, how exciting, and he got all excited. I don't know. I'm just putting like human things onto God. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But that's kind of how the feeling that I get. And something changed in me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a completely different person since that happened, but I mean, there's definitely a change in me, mentally, emotionally, even physically. And I'm still me. I'm still have my faults. I still cuss like a sailor. I still smoke weed for my PTSD, legally. You know what I mean? I'm still imperfect as hell, but I feel like there's hope. I'm gonna start crying. Hold on, let me shut this. Anyway, I feel like there's hope, and I have strength, and I feel like the darkness really doesn't have any kind of a hold on me at all. And I feel like it can't really even come near me anymore. I just get that feeling. Which isn't to say I will never run into him. I'm just, anyway. So I just had to, I felt, you know, I'm like, should I share this experience? Maybe this isn't an experience that I need to share. I was thinking that after my meditation. But then I got that, why not? Go ahead, sure. So that's why I made this video, and that's why I'm sharing it. And so if you've watched this far, thanks so much. And like I say, I don't think I'm the only one that could have this connection. Not at all. I think that it seems like all you need to do is sort of like believe, like faith, I guess. Believe that he's there and just act accordingly, meaning just talk to him. That's all I did. You know, so today I'm going to meditate again, so we'll see what happens in my meditation. But that's all I wanted to talk about, and I hope you're having good luck with your meditations and your spiritual journey. If you have any questions, just let me know by commenting down below, and I'll answer as soon as I can. And thanks so much for watching. And if you're interested in a psychic reading with me, just email me down below, and I'll contact you and we can set something up. My readings are confidential, and I'd love to hear some of your stories. If you want to comment down below, I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon on the next video. Bye-bye.